All right, it's Monday, June 6th at 5:30. This is a special city council meeting. Roll call,
Jim Phillips.
Ryla Nyhorst,
Dana Bergner.
Lori Novak.
and we have a motion. I make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. That's approved. All right, interim city administrator. How you doing?
I think we found our candidate.
Good.
Both Jim and I have interviewed her. I have talked to her a couple times independently of Jim, and then we both had a kind of a team interview with her. You should have all received her information, so you can see background and definitely qualified to take on the role, and I think she's excited to join us. So, you know, I think tonight's discussion is really around that contract, the employment agreement, and the language in there. You know, unfortunately, it feels like I'm always short on time with the contract agreements language. There just hasn't been enough time to really nail down all of the details, which I guess is okay. I mean, really, for our discussion, I think what the lawyers are saying is that, you know, we have the terms in the agreement. The big question was on the language for severing the contract, basically. And I don't think it's a huge deal as far as my personal feeling on it. I'm more concerned on hourly rate, or not even hourly rate, but salary. And I think that those details around, you know, the termination, I think that they can be worked out, but we as a council, I think, need to make sure that we're in agreement with the other pieces, days of the week and hours and price.
Well, good. Thanks for you and Jim for all the work hours I'm sure you put into it and everything. So thank you.
I just had one question, okay? Is there an issue with the title of city administrator to go along with that? Or we don't have to worry about that? Okay.
No, not as far as the lawyers have shared with us that this is an interim role as city administrator, and
Because it's an interim, it's okay to be able to do it that way. Okay, that was the only question that I had. What was on that, or we come up with a different title or whatever else that might be along with it. But no, I mean, reading everything else that's there, I can see where the qualifications are definitely good for this candidate.
So this, as you were talking here, I just thought, as far as maybe it's fringe benefits, is there any health benefits at all with this, or just strictly employment and salary?
it's just the employment. There is vacation benefits, which will be minimal, but yeah.
Just a couple questions then. Was there a job description as such we put together? Okay.
No job description.
So.
And that's something that either we're gonna have to have her kind of help us come up with. When I talked to her, I said, you know, one of the things that we really need is a strategic plan. We need a city administrator to help us with the tasks, you know, the daily tasks within City Hall that a city administrator would do, but we also going forward need a plan. And so we would be looking for both of those things. So, and she thought that was a great idea. We don't have a job description,
Okay,
so
that's
it's one of those things like
a
until
general
we,
idea. If anything, it's the city clerk plus strategic.
yeah, and
plan.
there's job descriptions in League of Minnesota Cities kind of database that describe all of these things. So I don't think it's something that, you know, we have to come up with on our own. It's out there.
Okay, so is there any, I didn't see any language in the contract regarding this is strictly an interim position, not the opportunity to hire her unless we do so, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
And I think in that situation, it would be a normal, you know, process where the city would say, okay, we're adopting this position as city clerk or city administrator. And then we would have a posting, and then we could do an internal and an external posting, et cetera.
So she wouldn't be qualified to be an election judge then? When we had elections.
I think she is, because that was one of the things that she put in the timing. Mhm.
Yes, that's why I asked it, depending on how long we keep her, whether or not she has, if she has to do anything with the county to get approved for Golden State County as a judge, I don't know. Okay,
When would the start date be?
Thursday.
Okay.
She,
what was that?
Thursday, Friday. She said if, you know, if all goes well tonight, she would put her 2 days in this week on Thursday and Friday, knowing that we have short hours as far as being open on Friday. That's okay with her because I think there's quite a bit that she could come in and do while it's quiet. And then traditionally she would, for the 2 days a week in June, she would try and make them so that they hit our council meeting, so that she's here for that, and planning and zoning she felt was really important to be at. So she,
Planning and zoning is canceled in June,
In July.
so it's the city council. So what? Was that? Again.
So today.
So how did you come up with the two, said because where she's working now, the 2 day in June and 3 days in July is,
she can't work more than 2 days in June.
okay,
So that was
that was
the,
given, okay. And the same thing for the 3 days, 2 in July?
and then the 3 days she, as it states in the contract that her plan is to be here on nights or days that kind of revolve around those city meetings. Probably would be earlier in the week than later in the week.
She gonna be driving down then, is that what it is?
Yeah, and I think, you know, from the conversations with her, she said that, you know, I'm very aware that this position is not, you know, only when I'm there, you know, it's not an 8 to 5 job. It is, I'm 24/7 on call type of a thing where I have my phone and I am ready to have questions answered and to be there. So she's kind of the, we're gonna get it done type of a person.
So who is responsible for getting her introduced into all of our systems and everything like that? Is that you, Renee?
That's a good question. I don't know.
What was the question?
Who is responsible for getting her introduced into our systems and setting all of that up?
Well, I'm guessing I'm probably with
Renee,
Renee,
I
what's
would
left
think.
with in the notes that,
And I think too, we have,
Jerry Lynn left, or at least I know that she was putting together some books.
Yeah.
More stuff, so.
we have some binders. And then I think we have Mike Bubani, who is a great help. We have Tyler Tech, who are fantastic. We have contacts through the CPA that are ready and willing to help out and get people up and running.
Looking
So
through her job description, she has worked in 2 cities. Starbuck, which is a population about 1,300. And Greenfield is population about 2,800. So I'm assuming she's familiar with LMC and contacts there as far as helping with questions.
So do we need to decide, you're saying with your first introduction, what you were talking about, we don't need to decide how long we keep her?
I think from what I'm understanding with the emails from the attorneys is that we can, I need to reread, we can kind of set that up separately as a side note.
Yeah. I just kind of read this. We didn't get it until 4-ish, so. Side letter.
Mhm.
So we could use that language, the employer employee agree to meet and discuss the terms of agreement at so-and-so and determine if any modifications are necessary. That's when we would decide how long.
Yeah, and the length was something that she added in as something that she felt that may be helpful to the city. I don't know that it's 100% necessary unless we feel like it is. It wasn't introduced until this morning, so it's kind of like that extra piece where if we said, okay, let's do it as a contract, length of time stated, here we are, or it's ongoing.
So the motion that we're looking for is to approve hiring per the interim employment agreement. And so the termination is involuntary. Do we have to get into the details of the agreement or as proposed?
I think as long as we approve the contract, I don't think we have to, because it's all laid out in the contract. I don't think we have to.
We shouldn't have to.
And is the highlighted parts anything we have to? Or is that just for our knowledge that was part of the email?
Mine isn't highlighted.
Well,
This is the one we got this afternoon.
Yeah, and mine doesn't come highlighted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that is the
That
part
part.
that we could.
It's really difficult and like.
So in option 1, he's saying, we typically advise that a side letter be opted for where the city council can agree to a separate time and date on an end date and revisit if his need arises.
So to me, that means we don't have to decide that today, like Lori said
That's what
earlier.
I'm reading it too.
Yeah, okay.
But it's something we shouldn't let go either after reading.
And I think
Fairly early in
that's
the
something
process.
that as we, like the personnel committee meets with her, she can give us more of an idea of here's what needs to be done, here's how long it'll take.
And
You know.
I think, I
That's why
don't,
there's tentative options.
and I just don't think that it's generally set up that way from the other people that I've talked to. It's generally just an ongoing situation. They usually don't have end dates in there.
Almost like a pay period to pay period.
It's kind of, yeah, and I think it's really, how long is it gonna take for us to be where we need to be? If we post a position, let's say a month, I'm just throwing out for numbers wise, let's say a month from now, we have a proposed plan and we say, you know what, yeah, I think this is great. We need to hire an interim, or we need to hire a full administrator. Here's the staffing. This is what it looks like. This is the job description. We post, we bring someone in, we still have her and she trains or helps get someone on. And then at that point, it's mutually agreed upon that the term has ended versus we're holding until December. But you could say, okay, well, we have a goal as, first of the year. But then if things don't pan out, I feel like that leaves the city in a sticky situation time-wise where we don't have someone and finding the right people to fill these positions, I think can take some time.
It's definitely a
So
living document, that's for sure.
Okay.
that's in my head. I don't know that we need to have the time frame on there, but I'm not against it. I
think it's taking it like you are, take it as time goes along and just see how this works out. Trying to do a timeline, I don't think would work at this point at all. And the other one is mutually agreed upon too. I think she'll be able to help us more than what we can here as a council trying to decide a timing.
And I think on her behalf, I just don't think that she liked the termination language. It wasn't, it's just, she doesn't like that. I don't think it's a.
I don't like that
Yeah,
word either.
yeah.
It's like, okay, you're not terminated, but it's,
Right, yeah.
we found the right position. so,
And I think if you look at her resume, it's stated clearly,
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think that it's this type of language, she just doesn't, she wants it to be mutually beneficial to both of us.
Voluntary.
I think that's a better way to do it, yeah.
Agreed. So we just need a motion to accept.
You want to go ahead and make
The
the motion?
interim, yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the interim employment agreement between the city of Orinoco and, can I say your name?
Sunny Bortland Schultz.
Can I say that? Okay, I didn't know if we can say that now. Between Sunny Forth and Schultz.
I second.
So the salary that she's starting at, it's prorated at the rate of 3/4 of the salary. So that 3/4 is like 76,000. You compare that to Jerry Lynn's salary was 67,500. So I think it's very comparable with what the experience she brings to us and what the expectations are of her working here. Great references too. Yeah, very. Any other comments? Questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. That's approved. So you will call her tonight then and let her know?
Hallelujah.
Don't wait.
It's,
Okay, I'll make a motion, we adjourn at 5:48.
I second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Happy to put it in front of us now.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
So you'll find out, you say Thursday, she could be here?
that's what